The coffee had gone cold hours ago, but Dr. Kim Nari barely noticed. Her fingers moved across the holographic display with practiced ease, adjusting complex equations that seemed to dance in the air before her. The laboratory was empty except for her. The other researchers having gone home long before midnight. Only the soft hum of her experimental devices filled the silence. Nari pushed a strand of black hair behind her ear and stepped back to examine her work. The equations floating in blue light showed something that should have been impossible. She had just solved a problem that had puzzled physicists for decades. The formula hanging in the air could change everything humanity knew about energy and space. 3,000 miles away in Washington, D.C., FBI agent Park Do-yeon stared at his computer screen with growing concern. The encrypted file had arrived in his inbox an hour ago with no sender information. The message was simple. You need to see this. She is not what she seems. Do-yeon clicked on the video file. The footage was grainy, clearly shot from a hidden camera. It showed the interior of a laboratory at Seoul National University. A young woman in a white lab coat stood before equipment that looked like nothing he had ever seen. She was manipulating what appeared to be solid light, bending beams with her bare hands as if they were made of clay. The agent leaned closer to his screen. The woman was clearly Korean, probably in her late 20s, with long black hair and intelligent eyes. She moved with confidence around the strange devices, touching surfaces that seemed to respond to her presence. What disturbed Do-yeon most was how the machines seemed to glow brighter when she was near them. He rewound the video and watched again. The woman was definitely doing something impossible. She held her hands over a small device, and energy began to flow between her fingers. The machine beneath her palms started to levitate, spinning slowly in the air while emitting a soft purple light. Do-yeon grabbed his phone and called his supervisor. "Sir, we have a problem. I need to run a background check on someone at Seoul National University. Her name appears to be Kim Nari, and she might be involved in something we need to investigate." The next morning, Do-yeon received a thick file on Dr. Kim Nari. She was 31 years old, born in Busan, South Korea. Academic record was impressive, but strange. She had completed her doctorate in theoretical physics at age 22, which was already unusual. Her research papers were published in the most prestigious journals, but they contained mathematical concepts that seemed decades ahead of current science. What worried Do-yeon more was the financial investigation. Dr. Nari had been purchasing unusual materials through several shell companies. The list included rare earth elements that cost more than her university's salary, exotic metals that were barely known to exist, and electronic components that did not match any known Earth technology. The purchases were carefully hidden, but FBI financial analysts had found the pattern. Someone was funding these purchases, and the money trail led to accounts in 12 different countries. The amounts were staggering. In the past 2 years, nearly $50 million had been spent. On materials that had no clear scientific purpose, Do-yeon studied the surveillance photos of Dr. Nari leaving her laboratory. She looked like any other young professor, carrying a simple backpack and wearing casual clothes. But the thermal imaging told a different story. Her body temperature was slightly lower than normal humans, and there were unusual electromagnetic readings around her that the research technical team could not explain. The most disturbing discovery came when the FBI ran her fingerprints through international databases. Dr. Kim Nari had no records before age 18. It was as if she had appeared from nowhere, complete with perfect academic credentials and a flawless background. No childhood photos, no school records, no hospital visits. Nothing. Agent Do-yeon called Dr. Lee Min-ho, a government physicist who specialized in advanced technology. "I need you to look at something," he said. "We have a scientist who might be working with technology that should not exist." Dr. Lee arrived at the FBI office within an hour. He was a thin man with glasses, who had spent his career studying foreign technology threats. Do-yeon showed him the video footage and the financial records. "This is impossible," Dr. Lee said after watching the video 3 times. "What she is doing violates several laws of physics. Energy cannot be manipulated like that without massive equipment." And those devices she is using? I have never seen anything like them. Could this be foreign technology? Doyan asked. Maybe something from China or Russia? Dr. Li shook his head. No country on Earth has technology this advanced. The equations in her published papers are at least 50 years ahead of our current understanding. She is solving problems that our best scientists cannot even approach. They spent the next 4 hours analyzing every piece of evidence. The conclusion was unavoidable. Dr. Kim Nari was either the most brilliant scientist in human history, or she was working with technology that did not originate on Earth. There is something else, Dr. Li said quietly. I ran her published papers through our analysis software. The mathematical structures she uses are consistent with theoretical models for non-terrestrial physics. It is as if she understands the universe in ways that humans should not be able to. Doyan felt a chill run down his spine. Are you saying she might not be human? I am saying that her knowledge comes from somewhere we do not understand. Whether that makes her dangerous or valuable, I cannot tell you. But we need to find out quickly. That evening, Doyan arranged for increased surveillance of Dr. Nari. Hidden cameras were installed around her laboratory and apartment. Electronic monitoring equipment was set up to track any unusual energy signatures. The FBI team was given orders to observe but not interfere. The surveillance revealed even more disturbing information. Dr. Nari worked 18 hours a day, apparently never needing sleep. She ate very little, and when she did, she consumed foods that were high in specific minerals that humans rarely needed. Most strangely, she often stood motionless for hours, staring at the night sky as if she were listening to something no one else could hear. Agent. Doyan realized that Dr. Kim Nari was not just brilliant. She was something else entirely. The question was whether she was a threat to humanity or possibly its salvation. The investigation had only just begun, but already it was clear that nothing would ever be the same once they learned the truth about her. Agent Park Doyan arrived at the FBI surveillance center at 6 in the morning. The night shift team looked tired but excited. They had been watching Dr. Kim Nari for 3 days, and what they had recorded was beyond anything they had expected. You need to see this, said Agent Kim Soo-yoon, the surveillance team leader. She pointed to multiple screens showing different angles of Dr. Nari's laboratory. She has been working all night again, but this time she did something incredible. Footage showed Dr. Nari standing in front of a large metal device that looked like a combination of a telescope and a radio antenna. She placed her hands on its surface, and immediately the machine began to glow. But this time, instead of the usual purple light, it emitted a series of complex patterns that pulsed in different colors. What is she doing? Doyan asked. We think she is communicating with something, Agent Kim replied. The signals are going out into space, but they are not using any known frequency. Our equipment can barely detect them. Dr. Lee Min-ho had been studying the recordings for hours. His face was pale with exhaustion and worry. The mathematical patterns in these signals are extraordinary, he said. They contain information that would take our fastest computers months to process, but she is generating them in real time. Watch the screen as Dr. Nari continued her work. She moved with purpose, adjusting controls that seemed to respond to her thoughts rather than her touch. The energy patterns flowing from the device were hypnotic, creating shapes that almost looked like written language. Have you been able to decode any of the signals? Doyan asked. Dr. Lee nodded grimly. Some of them. The mathematical structures suggest she is receiving information about stellar positions, gravitational fields, and energy sources that are located far beyond our solar system. It is as if she is getting a detailed map of the galaxy. The surveillance team had also been monitoring Dr. Nara's apartment. Recordings showed her daily routine, which was unlike any human pattern they had seen. She woke at exactly the same time every day, performed exercises that looked like a combination of martial arts and dance, and spent an hour each morning staring at a small device that projected holographic star charts. Look at this, Agent Kim said, switching to a different screen. Yesterday she received a package. Inside was a metal object that we cannot identify. Watch what happens when she touches it. The video showed Dr. Nari opening a simple cardboard box. Inside was a smooth, dark metal sphere about the size of a baseball. When she picked it up, it immediately began to glow with an inner light. More disturbing, her eyes began to glow with the same light for several seconds. Her DNA results came back, Dr. Lee said quietly. Most of it is human, but there are genetic markers that do not match any known human population. Some of the genetic sequences are completely unknown to Earth science. Doyen felt his stomach tighten. About 30% of her genetic code is something we have never seen before. It is as if someone took human DNA and carefully modified it with genetic material from another species. The investigation had expanded to include Dr. Neri's background. FBI agents in South Korea had been interviewing people who knew her, but the results were puzzling. Everyone remembered her as brilliant but strange. Her professors said she understood complex concepts immediately, often knowing the answers before the questions were fully explained. There is something else, Agent Kim said. We found her adoption records. She was found as a baby outside an orphanage in Busan. No parents, no birth certificate, no medical records. The woman who found her said she was glowing slightly when she was discovered. The most disturbing discovery came when the FBI tried to trace the source of Dr. Neri's funding. The money trail led to accounts that had been established decades ago, long before she was born. The accounts were managed by people who had no connection to each other. Yet they all made payments to support her education and research. Someone has been planning this for a very long time, Doyen said. They have been preparing for her arrival since before she was born. Dr. Lee had been analyzing Dr. Neris's published research papers with the help of theoretical physicists from around the world. Their conclusion was frightening. Her work is not just advanced, he explained. She is solving problems that multiple civilizations might face. The equations she uses could apply to any planet with any type of life form. What do you mean? Doyen asked. She is working on universal physics. Her research would be useful to any intelligent species, regardless of their biology or technology level. It is as if she is preparing solutions for problems that Earth has never faced. The surveillance footage from the previous night showed Dr. Nari doing something that made everyone in the room uncomfortable. She had built a new device that created a small field of distorted space. Objects placed within the field moved in impossible ways, defying gravity and momentum. She is manipulating the basic structure of reality, Dr. Lee said. This technology could revolutionize space travel, energy production, and weapons systems. But it could also be incredibly dangerous if used incorrectly. Agent Doyen made a decision that would change everything. We need to approach her directly. We cannot continue to observe from a distance. If she really is part alien, she might be working on something that affects the entire planet. Dr. Lee looked worried. What if she is hostile? Her technology is far beyond anything we could defend against. Then we need to find out her intentions before it is too late, Doyen replied. But first, we need to understand what threat she is preparing for. The surveillance team had detected increased activity in Dr. Neris's laboratory over the past week. She was working faster, building devices at an incredible pace. The energy readings from her equipment were growing stronger daily. She is building something big, Agent Kim reported. Whatever her plan is, she is running out of time. That night, Dojan received an encrypted message on his personal phone. The text was simple. I know you are watching me. We need to talk. The threat is coming sooner than expected. The message was signed with a symbol that looked like a combination of Korean characters and something else entirely. Something that seemed to shift and change when he looked at it directly. Dr. Kim Nari knew about the surveillance. All along, the question was whether she would prove to be humanity's greatest threat or its only hope for survival. Agent Park Do-yeon stood outside the Seoul National University Physics Building at midnight. The message from Dr. Kim Nari had been clear. Meet her in the underground laboratory alone. Dr. Lee Min-ho waited in a van nearby, monitoring radio frequencies. For any unusual activity, the building was empty and dark, except for a single light coming from the basement. Doyen descended the stairs slowly, his hand resting on his weapon. He had no idea what to expect from a woman who was part alien and could manipulate the laws of physics. Dr. Nari was waiting for him in the center of her laboratory. She looked tired, but determined. Around her, dozens of strange devices hummed. With energy casting shifting patterns of light on the walls, she turned to face him as he entered. "Agent Park," she said calmly. "Thank you for coming. I know this must be difficult for you." Dr. Kim Do-yeon replied carefully. "We need to talk about what you really are and what you are planning." She nodded and walked to a large screen that showed star charts. "I am exactly what your investigation discovered. Half human, half alien. My mother was Korean. My father was from a planet near the center of the Andromeda Galaxy." Do-yeon tried to process this information. "Why are you telling me this now?" "Because Earth is in danger, and I need your help." She touched the screen, and the star chart zoomed out to show the entire galaxy. Red dots appeared across huge sections of space. These red areas represent star systems that have been conquered by an alien force called the Dominion. The scale of the red zones was terrifying. Thousands of star systems had been marked as conquered. "How many civilizations have they destroyed?" Do-yeon asked. 17 intelligent species have been completely eliminated. The Dominion does not negotiate or take prisoners. They arrive, destroy all military resistance, and either enslave or exterminate the population. Dr. Neri's voice was steady, but her eyes showed deep sadness. She manipulated the display to show the movement of the red zones over time. "They have been expanding toward Earth for the past 50 years. According to my calculations, their advance. Scouts will reach our solar system within 6 months. Do-yeon felt cold fear spreading through his chest. "Why did your father's people not warn us sooner? They tried to fight the Dominion and lost." "My father was part of a small group that escaped before their planet was destroyed. They've been searching the galaxy for a species that might succeed where they failed." The display changed to show detailed images of Dominion ships and weapons. They were massive, each vessel the size of a small city. Their weapons could destroy entire planets, and their defensive shields seemed impenetrable. "They chose Earth because humans are different," Dr. Nari continued. "Most species follow logical patterns when they fight. They use their best technology and most efficient strategies. But humans do something that confuses other species." "What do we do differently?" Do-yeon asked. "You refuse to give up, even when facing impossible odds. Humans find ways to keep fighting. You adapt, you improvise, you sacrifice everything too. Protect what you love. The Dominion has never faced a species like that." Dr. Nari led him to another section of the laboratory where she had been building weapons and defensive systems. The devices looked alien, but somehow familiar, as if human. Engineering had been combined with technology from the stars. "I have been preparing Earth's defenses for the past 10 years, she explained, "but I cannot do it alone. The Dominion expects to find a primitive planet with simple weapons. We need to surprise them with technology they have never seen before." "It kind of technology?" Do-yeon asked. Weapons that think and adapt during battle. Defensive systems that become stronger under attack. Energy sources that multiply when they are stressed. These are things that only human creativity combined with alien knowledge can produce." She showed him a small device that looked like a metal flower. When she activated it, the device began to change shape, growing more complex as it encountered different types of energy. "This is a defensive drone. It learns from every attack and becomes better at protecting itself. A human engineer designed the adaptive system using alien materials." Dr. Nari explained that she had been secretly working with a small group of human scientists around the world. They had been developing new technologies by combining human ingenuity with alien physics. The results were devices that neither pure human nor pure alien science could have created. "The Dominion conquers civilizations by overwhelming them with superior technology," she said. "But they have never faced weapons that evolve during combat or defensive systems that use emotion and instinct as tactical advantages." Do-yeon realized the magnitude of what she was proposing. "You want to prepare the entire planet for war without telling anyone what is coming? If we announce the threat too early, panic will destroy our ability to prepare. But if we wait too long, we will not be ready when they arrive. I need the FBI to help me contact world leaders and military commanders who can handle this information." She led him to a communication device that was connected to her alien technology. I have been in contact with other refugee groups across the galaxy. They are all hoping that humans can succeed where their species failed. The weight of responsibility settled on Do-Yan's shoulders. What makes you think we can win? Because humans have something the Dominion cannot understand or predict. You have the ability to become stronger when everything seems hopeless. You fight hardest when you are protecting something you love. The Dominion fights for conquest. But humans fight for survival. Dr. Neri activated a holographic display that showed potential battle scenarios. I have been running simulations for years. Every scenario where humans are given time to prepare and adapt, Earth survives. We need to start now. She handed him a small device that looked like a smartphone but felt warm to the touch. This will allow you to communicate with me securely and access the alien technology networks. We have 6 months to prepare Earth for the greatest threat. In human history, Do-Yan took the device and felt its strange energy flow through his fingers. What do you need me to do? Help me save our world, Dr. Nari said simply. Both of our worlds. As they spoke, alarms began sounding from her monitoring equipment. The displays showed new signals coming from deep space. The Dominion scouts were moving faster than expected. We may have less time than I thought, Dr. Nari said, her face pale with worry. The invasion may begin in 3 months, not 6. The race to save Earth had begun. Agent Park Do-Yan stood in the secure briefing room at the Pentagon, watching as military leaders from 12 countries studied the evidence Dr. Kim Nari had provided. The holographic displays showed Dominion ships, conquered worlds, and the terrifying timeline of their approach to Earth. General Park Chung-ho, the South Korean military representative, spoke first. If this information is accurate, we are facing an enemy that has never been defeated. How do we know this is not an elaborate hoax? Dr. Lee Min-ho activated one of Dr. Nari's devices. The small metal sphere projected a 3-dimensional map of the galaxy, showing the movement of Dominion forces in real time. The mathematics alone proved this is genuine. No human could fake calculations this complex. Secretary of Defense Williams studied the tactical displays. Dr. Kim claims that human creativity combined with alien technology can defeat this threat. What evidence do we have that this is possible? Dr. Nari stepped forward. She had been waiting in the adjoining room, knowing that her presence would be difficult for the military leaders to accept. I can show you, she said simply. She placed her hand on the conference table, and immediately the surface began to glow. The table transformed into a complex control panel with displays showing energy readings, tactical information, and communication channels to hidden facilities around the world. For the past year, I have been secretly training human scientists and engineers in 12 countries, Dr. Nari explained. They have been developing new technologies using the principles I taught them. The results have exceeded even my expectations. The display showed laboratories in South Korea, the United States, Germany, Japan, and other nations. Human scientists were working with devices that seemed to blend Earth engineering with alien physics. The technologies they were creating looked both familiar and impossible. Dr. Kim Guan, in Seoul, has developed adaptive armor that becomes stronger. When attacked, Dr. Nari continued. Engineer Park Min-jung, in Tokyo, has created energy weapons that learn from each battle. Professor Lee He-jin, in Berlin, has built defensive systems that use human intuition to predict enemy movements. General Rodriguez from Mexico looked skeptical. How do we know these people can be trusted? If they are working with alien technology, they could be compromised, because they are still completely human, Dr. Nari replied. I only provided them with basic principles. Everything they built came from human creativity and ingenuity. The alien knowledge just helped them understand what was possible. Do-Yan activated the communication device Dr. Nari had given him. The screen showed Dr. Kim Juan in her laboratory in Seoul, working with a group of engineers on what looked like a spacecraft engine that defied gravity. Dr. Kim Do-Yan said, "Please explain what you have developed." The Korean scientist looked tired but excited. We have created a propulsion system that uses human emotional responses to generate energy. When the pilot feels determination or courage, the ship moves faster. When they feel protective instincts, the defensive systems become stronger. The military leaders looked confused. Secretary Williams asked. Humans have electrical activity in their brains that aliens do not, Dr. Nari explained. Your emotions create specific energy patterns that can be converted into power. No other species we know of has this ability. She showed them recordings of test flights. Human pilots flying the new ships were performing maneuvers that should have been impossible. The ships seemed to respond to the pilots' intentions before they even moved the controls. The Dominion uses logical, predictable tactics, Dr. Nari continued. Their ships are controlled by computers that calculate the most efficient strategies. But human pilots, using emotion-driven technology, make choices that computers cannot predict or counter. General Park Chung-ho leaned forward. What do you need from us? Time and resources, Dr. Nari replied. We need to mass-produce these new technologies and train people to use them. Most importantly, we need to do this without causing panic among the civilian population. The alliance was formed that day. Its military leaders from around the world agreed to fund and support the development of hybrid human-alien technology. The project was given the code name New Dawn, classified at the highest levels. Dr. Lee Min-ho was appointed as the scientific coordinator, working directly with Dr. Nari to manage the global research effort. Agent Do-Yan became the liaison between the FBI and the International Military Alliance within weeks. Secret facilities were established on every continent. Human scientists worked around the clock to understand and improve the alien technology principles. The results were extraordinary. In Australia, engineers developed self-repairing spacecraft that could rebuild themselves during battle. In Canada, scientists created communication systems that worked faster than light by using human consciousness as a transmission medium. In Brazil, researchers built weapons that became more accurate when the user felt strong emotions. The key is that humans do not just use logic, Dr. Nari explained to the research teams via secure video link. You use instinct, emotion, and creativity. These are things that make your technology unpredictable and adaptable. The most important breakthrough came when Dr. Park Young-min in South Korea discovered that human teams working together could create energy fields that were impossible for individuals to generate alone. The discovery led to the development of group-operated defensive systems that protected entire cities. Humans are social creatures, Dr. Nari told the alliance leaders. Your greatest strength is not individual brilliance, but your ability to work together toward a common goal. The Dominion species are individualistic. They do not understand cooperation the way humans do. As the months passed, Earth's defenses grew stronger. Hidden weapon systems were installed around the planet. Spacecraft were built in secret underground facilities. Most importantly, a global network of human operators was trained to use the new technology. The training revealed something unexpected. Humans who had strong emotional connections to their families and communities were better at operating the hybrid technology. Love, friendship, and loyalty made the weapons more powerful and the defenses more effective. The Dominion fights for conquest and domination, Dr. Nari observed. But humans fight for protection and survival. That difference may be what saves your species. 3 months after the alliance was formed, the first Dominion scout ships appeared at the edge of the solar system. The invasion was about to begin. But Earth was no longer the defenseless world the aliens expected to find. The test of human ingenuity and determination was about to begin. The command center, buried beneath the Rocky Mountains, buzzed with activity as Earth's defenders prepared for the battle that would determine the fate of humanity. Agent Park Do-Yan watched the massive displays showing Dominion ships moving through the outer solar system. There were more of them than anyone had expected. 17 battle cruisers and over 300 smaller ships, reported Dr. Lee Min-ho from his position at the tactical station. They are moving in the standard Dominion formation, exactly as Dr. Nari predicted. Center of the command center, her hands moving across holographic controls that connected her to defense systems around the world. Her hybrid nature allowed her to coordinate the complex network of human-alien technology that protected Earth. "The Dominion ships are scanning the planet," she announced. "They are looking for our military installations and weapon systems. They will be confused because our technology does not match their database of known threats." Commander Sarah Chen, the American military liaison, studied the enemy formation. "Why are they taking so long to attack?" "They have been in our solar system for 6 hours. You're trying to understand what they are facing," Dr. Neri explained. "Every species they have conquered used predictable technology. But our systems are generating energy signatures they have never seen before." In South Korea, Dr. Kim Ju-won and her team were preparing the emotion-driven defense grid that protected the Asian continent. The system was powered by volunteers who focused their thoughts on protecting their families and communities. The more love and determination they felt, the stronger the defensive barriers became. "The emotional energy readings are off the charts," Dr. Kim reported via secure link. "The volunteers are generating more power than our calculations predicted. Human emotion is more powerful than we realized." Similar reports came from defense centers around the world. In Germany, Professor Li Hejin's intuitive targeting systems were already tracking Dominion ships before they came into visual range. Human operators were predicting enemy movements through feelings and instincts rather than logical analysis. "The computers on the Dominion ships are trying to calculate our response patterns," Dr. Neri said. "But humans do not follow logical patterns when they are fighting for survival. Your unpredictability is our greatest advantage." The first wave of Dominion fighters entered Earth's atmosphere over the Pacific Ocean. They expected to encounter primitive aircraft and simple missiles. Instead, they found themselves facing ships that seemed to dance through the air, moving in ways that defied physics. Human pilots flying the new hybrid aircraft were using their emotions to control their air ships. When they felt protective instincts, their weapons became more accurate. When they felt angry about the threat to their planet, their engines produced more power. When they felt love for their families, their defensive systems became nearly impenetrable. "The Dominion fighters are firing," reported the tracking station. "But our pilots are dodging attacks that should be impossible to avoid." Do-Yan watched the aerial battle on the main display. The human ships were moving like living creatures, anticipating enemy fire and responding with tactics that seemed almost magical. The Dominion fighters, controlled by computer logic, could not adapt to the unpredictable human responses. "We are winning the first engagement," Dr. Lee announced with amazement. "Human pilots are destroying Dominion fighters at a rate of 10-1. But the real test came when the Dominion battlecruisers began their attack. These massive ships had weapons that could destroy entire cities with a single shot. They began firing at Earth's major population centers, expecting to break human resistance through overwhelming force. The planetary defense grid activated for the first time. Energy barriers powered by human emotion surrounded every major city. On Earth, the Dominion weapons struck the barriers and were absorbed, their energy converted into power that made the defenses even stronger. "Impossible," came the voice of Dr. Park Youngmin from the Seoul Defense Center. "The barriers are actually gaining strength from the attack. Human cooperative energy is creating effects we never imagined." The most extraordinary development occurred when children around the world began participating in the defense effort. Young people who had been taught to focus their thoughts on protecting their planet were generating emotional energy that was purer and more powerful than adult emotions. "The children are not afraid," observed Dr. Nari. "They believe completely that their thoughts can protect Earth. That absolute faith is creating energy fields that are beyond anything we calculated." The Dominion commanders were becoming desperate. Their standard tactics were failing against technology that seemed to operate on principles they did not understand. They began using weapons that had never failed to destroy a planet, but Earth's defenses continued to adapt and grow stronger. Human engineers were modifying their systems in real time, using creativity and instinct to counter each new threat. The hybrid technology was evolving during the battle, becoming more effective with each attack. "They are trying to contact us," reported the communications center. "The Dominion is attempting to open a negotiation channel. This was unprecedented. The Dominion had never negotiated with any species. They conquered or destroyed, but they never talked. They are confused and frightened, Dr. Nari explained. They have never encountered resistance like this. Their computer models cannot predict what humans will do next. The message from the Dominion commander was simple. What are you? Dr. Nari smiled for the first time since the battle began. We are human, she replied. We are something you have never encountered before. We fight not for conquest, but for love. We become stronger when we are challenged. We never give up. The battle raged for 18 hours. The Dominion threw everything they had at Earth, using weapons that had destroyed 17 civilizations. But humanity's defenses held. It's more than that. They grew stronger with each attack. As the second day of fighting began, something unprecedented happened. The Dominion ships began to retreat. They are withdrawing, Dr. Lee reported with disbelief. The Dominion is actually retreating from Earth. But Dr. Nari knew the battle was not over. They are regrouping, she said. They will return with more ships and different tactics. We have won the first battle, but the war for Earth has just begun. The retreat gave humanity time to prepare for the next phase of the conflict. The hybrid technology had proven itself in combat, but now it needed to be improved and expanded. The real test of human ingenuity was yet to come. 6 months after the first Dominion retreat, Earth had become something the galaxy had never seen before. The planet was protected by a network of defenses that grew stronger every day, powered by the collective will of humanity to survive and protect their home. Agent Park Do-yeon stood in the orbital command station that had been built using human-alien hybrid technology. Through the transparent walls, he could see the massive defensive platforms that surrounded Earth like a protective shell. Each platform was operated by teams of humans whose emotions and determination powered weapons that had never existed before. The Dominion fleet has returned, reported Dr. Lee Min-ho from the sensor station. But this time they brought everything they have. Over 2,000 ships, including their planet killer weapons. Dr. Kim Nari was connected to the Global Defense Network. Through technology that allowed her hybrid nature to coordinate systems across the entire planet, her consciousness was linked to defense centers on every continent, creating a unified response that no single species had ever achieved. They are not taking any chances this time, she said, her voice carrying across the command center. Planned to destroy Earth completely rather than risk another defeat. The Dominion had spent the past 6 months studying the recordings of their first battle with humanity. They had built new weapons, specifically designed to counter the emotional energy that powered Earth's defenses. They believed they had found a way to defeat the unpredictable human response, but humanity had not been idle either. The hybrid technology had evolved beyond anything Dr. Nari had imagined when she first began her work. Human creativity had taken the basic alien principles and developed them into something entirely new. The Children's Network is active, reported Dr. Park Youngmin from Seoul. Young people around the world are focusing their thoughts on protecting Earth. The energy readings are incredible. This was humanity's secret weapon. Children and teenagers had an ability to believe completely in impossible things. Focused their minds on protecting their planet, they generated emotional energy that was pure and powerful beyond adult comprehension. The Dominion ships are beginning their attack, announced the tracking station. They are using weapons have never seen before. The first wave of attacks struck Earth's outer defenses. The Dominion had created weapons that were designed to disrupt emotional energy, turning human feelings of love and protection into confusion and fear. They believed this would collapse the entire defense network. Instead, something unexpected happened. The human response was not confusion, but anger. The attempt to manipulate their emotions made humans more determined to fight back. The defensive systems began generating energy patterns that were more chaotic and unpredictable than ever before. They made a mistake, Dr. Nari observed. They tried to use our emotions against us, but that just made us angry. And angry humans are the most dangerous force in the galaxy. The battle that followed was unlike anything in galactic history. The Dominion threw their most powerful weapons at Earth, including planet-killing devices that had never failed to destroy a world. But human defenses adapted to every attack. It's becoming stronger and more creative with each new threat. The breakthrough came when a young engineer named Lee Soo-jin in Busan discovered something remarkable. She found that human laughter and joy could be converted into energy that was more powerful than any weapon. The discovery led to a new type of defense system that used happiness and hope as its power source. "The joy-powered systems are online," she reported. "People around the world are celebrating our resistance, and their happiness is creating energy fields that are making our weapons incredibly powerful." The Dominion commanders watched in horror as their most advanced weapons were not just stopped, but absorbed and converted into power that made Earth's defenses even stronger. Their computer models showed that this was impossible, but it was happening anyway. "The human response is beyond our ability to predict or counter," came the transmission from the Dominion fleet commander. "They are using emotions and cooperation in ways that violate all known principles of warfare." Dr. Nari made a decision that would change galactic history. Instead of simply defending Earth, she activated the communication systems that connected to refugee populations throughout the galaxy. Species that had been conquered by the Dominion were about to witness something they had never seen before. "This is Earth," she broadcast to the entire galaxy. "We are showing you that the Dominion can be defeated. Do not give up hope. Resistance is possible." The message was received by enslaved populations on hundreds of worlds. For the first time in decades, species that had been conquered by the Dominion began to believe that freedom was possible. Uprisings started on 12 different planets simultaneously. "The Dominion is facing rebellions throughout their empire," reported the Intelligence Center. "Their forces are being stretched thin as they try to contain the revolts." The final phase of the battle began when the Dominion deployed their ultimate weapon, a device that could destroy an entire star system. They were prepared to sacrifice everything to eliminate the threat that humanity represented to their empire. But human ingenuity had one more surprise. Emotion-powered defenses had evolved to the point where they could redirect energy on a massive scale. When the Dominion fired their ultimate weapon, Earth's defenses caught the energy and sent it back at the attacking fleet. The result was devastating. The Dominion's own ultimate weapon destroyed half of their fleet. The survivors found themselves facing a humanity that had not only survived everything they could throw at Earth, but had turned their most powerful attack against them. "The Dominion fleet is surrendering," announced Dr. Lee with amazement. "They are requesting permission to retreat from Earth's space." But Dr. Nari had a different idea. "We offer them a choice," she broadcast to the Dominion fleet. "Join us in building a galaxy where different species work together, or face the consequences of your actions." The surrender of the Dominion marked the beginning of a new era in galactic history. Earth became the center of a new alliance of species that had been freed from Dominion control. A hybrid technology that combined human creativity with alien knowledge was shared with civilizations throughout the galaxy. Agent Park Do-yeon found himself serving as Earth's first ambassador to the galactic community. The FBI investigation that had started with surveillance of a brilliant scientist had ended with humanity taking its place as leaders of a new galactic civilization.
"You were right,"
Do-yeon said to Dr. Nari as they watched the first ships from liberated worlds arrive at Earth. Human creativity and determination were the key to victory. Dr. Nari smiled, her hybrid nature allowing her to serve as a bridge between species that were learning to work together. Humanity showed the galaxy something it had never seen before. "You prove that cooperation and emotion are more powerful than logic and domination." The story of Earth's victory spread throughout the galaxy, inspiring other species to develop their own unique approaches to technology and warfare. The age of the Dominion was over, replaced by an era of cooperation and shared knowledge. Dr. Kim Nari continued her work, but now she was developing technology that would help different species understand and work with each other. Her hybrid nature had saved Earth. But her greatest achievement was showing the galaxy that differences could be a source of strength rather than conflict. The FBI investigation had uncovered something far more important than a security threat. It had discovered that humanity's greatest strength was not their individual brilliance, but their ability to work together and never give up hope. Even when facing impossible odds, Earth's victory had proven that in a galaxy full of advanced civilizations, the most powerful force was still the human spirit,